So agenda for today is introduction to digital analytics, web analytics, career path, and then process. So let's talk about fundamentals of digital analytics first. Before even we go and talk about career, I want to make sure you guys understand the fundamentals here. You have a website, users come to your website, some of them will leave, some of them are going to go to the next page, some of them are going to refresh that page, some of them are going to go click on exit, going to third-party sites. That's pretty much what happens in your app. That pretty much happens in your website, right? All this information gets collected. At the end of the day, everything boils down to two things. It's a user and it's an event. An event can be a page view, event can be any action. That's all web analytics is. Somebody comes to your site, that's a user. They do certain activities, that's an event. All the metrics, all the numbers are just a combination of these things. So you get these numbers like 1.5 million visitors on website, 2 pages per visitor, 90% bounce rate, 50% video views, etc. All these things you see in your reports. So you can put a simple snippet code like Google Analytics, and then you will get these kind of numbers. And then when you start to layer in all the digital channels, then it becomes digital analytics. Data is everywhere. You saw all these channels I listed. All channels collect data. So some data shows up in your Google Analytics. Some of the data resides in these other tools. So you'll have Google Ads have data, Facebook has data, social media platforms have data. Anything you look at, or even TV, when you're running ads, they have data. You run an ad in newspaper, they have the data. So all this data is either there or in your Google Analytics. And several other data sources are available from third parties. So what I mean by that is, let's say weather data. That's available by weather companies, right? They own it. And every single type of this data impacts your sales, your website's experience, your conversions. Recently, Amazon came and reported not so stellar earnings, and they also were not able to give a guidance for what's going to happen in next quarter. And the reason is, they cited, people are glued to TV watching all these elections that are going on in US and other events that are happening across the world, right? There is a lot of activity happening around the world. People are watching what's going on in this country, that country. There is a lot of turmoil going on. So all those things impact what users are going to do, how many users are going to come to your site, etc. People look in isolation, say, my Google ads are not performing. We're not getting as many clicks or as many conversions. Well, the reason is because people are not on web. They are glued to their TV watching what's happening in some other country or in their own country, right? So they're not going to go and start clicking on ads because they just don't have time. So that's what happens. So this data is not readily available. However, if you make decisions without that data, then it becomes a problem. So data is everywhere. You as an analyst, it's your job to bring it all together and then analyze it. These are some famous code. Data is new oil. Data really powers everything. With data collection, the sooner the better is always the answer. Every new organization is built on data. Old organizations do the work the way they have been doing, but new organizations, new startups, you pick any startup, most of them, or majority of them, use data. And that data is within their app and website. That's the data they use. When are customers ordering? When are they coming? What are they buying? Etc. All that stuff is what a digital analyst does, analyzes, instruments, etc. So it's a very, very critical role to collect the right data so that organizations can make those decisions, right decisions. So data powers the business. However, for data organizations to benefit from the data, you have to collect the right data, clean the data, analyze the data, take action based on that data. And that's where web, digital, and marketing analytics comes into play. So the definition of web analytics is measurement, collection, analysis, and reporting of internet data for the purpose of understanding and optimizing web usage. So keep that in mind. Measurement, collection, analysis, and reporting. And what's the purpose? understanding and optimizing web usage. And when we talk about digital analytics include analysis of data from all digital channels, including all data sources, provide a complete view, right? So you're not talking in isolation. However, as I talked to you just now with the weather and events, etc., that plays a huge role as well. So you have to go and find more data and apply more data to really understand what's going on. But that's what the role is: measurement, collection, analysis, and reporting for the purpose of understanding and optimizing. A lot of people get stuck in measurement and collection, and maybe some go to reporting. Just saying we got 15 conversion today and we had yesterday 10 conversions, so it's 50% up, is not called analysis. Any high schooler can go and do that. Implementation is the same way. Putting a GA4 code or GTM code on your site and configuring few button clicks here and there, I can teach a high schooler on how to do that. That's not even thing to brag about or talk about. Where do you start if somebody comes to you and say, we need to start measuring this site? Where do you start? What do you think? Always start with understanding what the purpose of your website is. If you are doing digital marketing, same question applies. What is the purpose of this digital marketing? Purpose cannot always be we need to drive conversions, because one, conversions mean different things to different people. Conversion windows are different. Selling a 99-cent pen compared to a $99 million server are two different things. Somewhere conversion happens in minutes, somewhere the conversions happen after 2-3 years. In our business, like in consulting side of our business, some of our clients sign up after 2 years. Even like when I'm selling courses, I know I have students who've been following me for 2-3 years, and then they come back after looking at everything and say, I'm ready to sign up, because our courses are not inexpensive. They are expensive and there is a ton of value, but then not everybody can afford them. So they look around and then they finally come. So there is a different window. You have to understand whenever you're doing any activity, what is the purpose? If you understand that, then you'll be able to easily optimize and measure. So I talked about web and digital, right? Web is website measurement. Digital is all about digital channels. Then there is marketing analytics. That includes analysis of data from all marketing efforts. It seems like digital analytics, most people will say, because we are generally online most of the time. But there are offline marketing channels, newspapers, TVs, billboards, word of mouth. Everything has an impact online. So let's say if you see something on TV, you're going to open your phone or tablet or whatever, or come to computer and type in certain keywords from what you remember the ad you saw. There was a great story, not story, this is actually a real case, where somebody ran a small ad in US Midwest. And it's a very small market, middle of USA, very few people live. And in that, you also have like one TV channel, a local TV channel playing that ad. Next day, what this company saw is a huge spike in their traffic. So ad ran on Friday night, I think, or by Thursday night, and by Friday or Saturday morning, there was huge traffic on the website. Now, if you look at the isolation of the traffic, and you will see there is a huge spike, you start looking at it, it seems like traffic is coming from direct sources. That's it. There was nothing you can attribute to. However, when you bring the other data, what other activities happen, you can see there was a TV ad that ran. However, it should not have an impact. Then when you try to look into it, you saw there was a social media buzz going on, and you could see people were talking about your brand, because some people found that ad to be offensive. So there were two camps that got created. One was who got offended by that ad. Some people were like, no, they love that ad and it's okay. So there was a lot of chatter going on. As a result, traffic went up. But if you just look at data in isolation in one channel, then you won't know how that impacts. It would have impacted everything: social, search, paid search, organic search, website traffic, etc. So marketing analytics is where you guys should be thinking. Digital web is all about marketing analytics. So here's a circle Venn diagram, kind of gives you an idea. This is all about digital analytics. Web analytics is definitely part of digital analytics, but marketing analytics is hugely digital analytics. And then there are some parts which are offline. But I consider everything to be your role as an analyst. you're analyzing digital, web, marketing, other channels, other data as well. Now, how big is this opportunity? This is an old research, but it still applies. Web analytics. When they say web analytics, web digital marketing, keep that in mind. So when you're doing your job searches, do not just limit yourself to web or digital, expand it, web, digital marketing, and I'll show you other types of analytics that directly relate to that. The growth is 20% year over year, and that's actually a huge growth compared to the other fields if you look at. I do not exactly know the impact of recent layoffs on digital analytics, but my students have been able to find jobs. So the way I look at it is, if you or your friends or your close circle never loses a job, then everything is fine. If your friend loses a job, it's a recession. If you lose a job, it's depression. If you both lose a job, your circle, everybody loses a job, then it's Great Depression. So depends on which situation you are in. You'll know whether it's a recession, depression, whatever it is. But I see people have been able to find jobs in this field. So it seems like everything is going fine. 5 technologies expected to gain the most. You can see digital analytics is of very high value. It's growing. More and more people are online. Every business should have a website at least and an app. If they can't have an app, at least a website. And all that website data needs to be collected and measured so that they can optimize customers' experience. Most critical skills per CMO, you can see analytics is one of them. So here's a diagram that I want to share with everybody, whether you have been in the field, whether you're starting out or not. The impact of digital analytics is all across the organization. Not many people think in those terms. When somebody says, I'm a data analyst is a generic term. You're doing some sort of data, but you're tied up with one group. You're a data analyst for that. You might be a financial analyst. You might be a data analyst for IT group here, your group here, whatever. That's a generic term. Digital analytics is more focused on digital web and marketing analytics, as I said. It applies across organization. So for example, product development. What features are people using? How do you design the right feature? Make sure people are able to use and navigate. Impact of those changes, those all require the same mindset as web analytics, because you have to put it in the feature set here, you have to tag them, etc. It's called product analytics also. Product analytics is the same. You have users, you have events. Are they clicking on? Are they swiping? Are they scrolling down? Etc. Whatever. That's product development. So your role is there to help them. Marketing, we all know that, campaigns, branding, database, etc. You work with them, and then you analyze your customers as well as their experience, etc. You help sales. They want to understand or grow their market reach, how people use the website, usage of tools on the websites, etc. How many forms are getting filled? Are these qualified people, etc. They want to know. So digital analyst works with the sales teams as well. IT operations, their job is to make the servers available, make sure people can go through that experience quickly. So you don't want any bottlenecks, right? You have e-commerce, what online sales are happening, what categories are selling, what are people interested in, what 2 products they buy together, what's the basket looks like, what's the basket price looks like, etc. E-commerce needs to know that. Merchandising's job is to put the right product in front of people so that they can sell. They want to know which products, categories, locations, etc. are selling. Does it make a difference if we put the top 10 list or the top recommended list or the top customer list, etc.? They want to know what products to place where. Should it be on the homepage? Should it be on the top? Should it be on the category page, etc.? So you help merchandising. Customer support. The last slide I showed you about Gartner was actually customer support slide. Call center, online support. They want to reduce the call volume to call center, and they want to increase the online support. Analytics can tell them if they're succeeding or not, which areas, what frequently asked questions people are looking at, what queries they look at, where do they spend time, which videos they are watching for support, etc. All that stuff can help them become better. So as you can see, analytics, digital analytics has an impact across the organization. In many organizations, digital analytics actually sits under CFO as well, because as a CFO, they are responsible for cost, etc. So as you can see, we can help reduce costs for call center, reduce the cost for IT operation, and help sales drive more qualified leads with the right information. So that's also cost cutting, as well as you're helping increase revenue. So when you're thinking about digital analytics, just don't think it's a very narrow field, even though it's been applied. Think broadly. So if you're starting out, you can be in any of these fields with your knowledge, the knowledge that you gain as a digital analyst. And here are other fields that are kind of in the same area or use the same skill sets. So as I talked about digital analytics, web analytics, and marketing, let's forget about them. Customer analytics. You are analyzing customers, understanding your customers, how they behave, when they buy, what their demographic is, etc., is customer analytics. So you already do that stuff as a digital analyst. Those who are doing it, those who want to go in this field, you can be in customer analytics as well. E-commerce analytics, entirely focused on improving e-commerce. Shopper analytics, this is in store or online as well. You can apply the same principles in any physical store as well. When are people entering? When are they leaving? Which aisles they go to, which products they pick up, which products they buy, etc. Everything that is applied in e-commerce can be applied to shopper in store. I used to work on a project where we did this with the beacons. Everybody's got an app these days. So you walk into a store, that app knows you walked into the store, right? So you are a unique person. Think about from website. You're a unique person. You walk into the store knows who you are. As you're walking through the store, your app is pinging and being tracked. If you have given permission, it knows which aisle you're going. It knows where you stopped. It knows how much time you spent on that aisle or picking up stuff or deciding what to buy. It can use camera to triangulate or other beacons to triangulate where you are looking at or where you're picking the stuff from. Then when you buy it, it knows what you bought. This is where we are going, with all the shopping experience. It can also recommend you other products. So that is shopper analytics. And then product analytics is all around products. These days, everything is a digital product, right? Your apps are generally considered a product, and measuring your ad experience is called product analytics. But there could be desktop apps as well. Like I'm using Zoom right now, right? You guys are using Zoom to log in. Zoom has all the data. When does Anil conduct his sessions? How long those sessions are? Who signs up for those, etc. Everything Zoom has. Am I using the right feature? When I was trying to figure out where did my recording button go, I was spending some time and then finally clicked on recording. They should know, like people look for recording buttons. They spend few clicks here and there, and then they figure it out. So all that is product analytics, but the fundamentals are same as what we were looking at for web analytics, digital and marketing. So that's the opportunity you have. It's a huge opportunity. You just have to think about all these areas, and you learn one thing and you can apply it to others. And also many of my students are in this space who are product managers, PMs, as you call them. Here are different types of roles that you can apply. So we looked at the vertical type of things, but here are the roles: marketing, technology, and analytics implementation. Those who are coming from technology background and want to stay in technology background, this is a great one for them. For this one, there are lots of marketing technologies out there in the market. Lots of them. And every day new tools, technologies, platforms are coming up. Knowing those platforms and then using them or applying your knowledge to implement those in the right way is a huge market. I was talking to one of my first hires in analytics. He and I met after 15 years and we were having coffee and we were just talking about this thing. How you can just learn one particular technology or tool, marketing analytics, and focus on that and become expert on that, and you will never have any problem in getting a job. Yes, you won't see tons of jobs out there, but there might be one or two jobs, but those jobs, only one or two people are there to fill. So you can command a higher rate. And most of the people want to learn what everybody else is learning. And the counterintuitive is learn something that nobody else is learning so that you can be the one. So marketing, technology, analytics implementation is for those who want to go in that field and remain technical. Then there is reporting. Reporting is easy to do. Reporting by itself can be a career. However, it has limited upside. You'll generally move into analysis and insights, which is the next one. And then there is optimization, experimentation, which is about optimizing users' experience, creating A/B test or testing different types of things. Then digital marketing also has, every digital marketer should be a data person. Every marketer should be a data person, period. If you do not know how to leverage data in marketing, your job is going to go away 100%. Data people will stand longer than non-data people. So you need to know how to apply that data, not just look at clicks, conversions, etc. Like I said, anybody can do it. You need to really understand your customers, your stakeholders, and then analyze the data based on that. Project, program, product management are other fields. You can go in an agency, become a project manager in analytics, program manager in analytics, product managers also building analytics tools. Everything now collects the data, right? Remember I said data is everywhere. So product managers also need to deal with data, and they need to know how their products are performing, also how to leverage that data to build better products. Account sales management, again, you can be in an agency that deals with data, and then you can be account or sales management, or in a company that provides the tools. And then e-commerce merchandising. There are several types of roles that you can get into. This is just giving you a flavor. So here's your assignment. Check the job boards for digital web and marketing analytics job. I talked about shopper analytics, customer analytics. You can use those. Check the salary they offer. Use keywords like Google Analytics, GA4, Pivot Pro, Mixpanel, Amplitude, etc., or whatever way you want to search, and share your finding in the WhatsApp group. So that'll be your assignment. See if this field is something of interest to you or not. You have to figure that out on your own. I can tell you certain things based on my experience, and my experience, it's a great field. I used to be a software engineer, right? You think about people say software engineers make more money. That's a whole field thing. I can tell you digital analysts can make a lot more money than software engineers can. And that's been my experience. You just have to go and build your knowledge base in a way that people rely on you. So go ahead and try this and see if this is the one that you want to do. Now let's talk about the categories, role categories in broader way. There are 4 buckets that I put them in. One is a technical role. I talked about the implementation solution, right? That's the technical implementation part. It's also called implementation or solution architect. They architect the solution to support business needs. So their job is to understand business requirements and put the right tools in the right way. They are generally certified in implementing one or more marketing technologies or analytics tools such as Adobe Analytics, Google Analytics, etc. The skills that you generally need for these are JavaScript, CSS, and HTML. And if you also know databases in SQL, then you'll never be out of your job. Databases in SQL. This is one of my favorite skills. I found my first job using SQL. And then I have used SQL forever for like past, whatever, 27 years. I've always used SQL, and that has always paid me. No matter where you go, what role you are in, if you're in data role, they'll ask you SQL questions. You go to companies like Microsoft or maybe other ones, as a PM, they'll ask you SQL questions. SQL is structured query language. It's the programming language to deal with databases. In every organization and every group in organization has databases. So learn that. That's your technical role. Here is the marketing technology landscape. It's an old one, but as you can see, there are tons of marketing technologies available there. So pick the tools that you can, learn them. Most of them have similar fundamentals. And that's is another thing. I was talking to this person yesterday. We were talking about like how you learn one thing. If you understand the fundamentals, all the other tools are easy. You can just pick them up. Give me an hour with a tool and I can tell you exactly how it works. That's it, because the fundamentals are same. So learn that, and you can apply it to different tools. So if you want to be a technical person, I would suggest you deal with marketing technologies, implement them, use them, etc. Now there is a reporting role. In the reporting role, you collect data from various tools, like we talk about the data, tools, etc. Create nice looking dashboards and reports. You generally work in Excel and PowerPoint, but also data visualization tools such as Tableau, Looker Studio, Power BI, etc. There are several tools. Every organization uses different tools. They have different capabilities, but Excel is used throughout any organization, Excel or Google Sheets, mainly Excel. And then you also learn SQL and BigQuery, and you're in a great shape because you can pull the data, create the reports, etc. Most of the business stakeholders are not going to go log into the tools to pull the data. They need somebody to do that for them. And that could be your role. However, this role has a limited potential. Ultimately, you're going to move into analysis and insights. Numbers don't mean anything unless you put them in context and analyze. When you're driving car, right in front of you is a dashboard that has 4 or 5 meters in it, right? How fast you're going. It has time on it. If you're using navigation, then it tells you how far away you are from, etc. Right? Those are just numbers. As you look at them, you put them in context. If I have to go somewhere and I'm going 60 miles an hour, then I calculate, okay, this is how long it's going to take, unless I'm using a navigation system, which also tells me. Then it tells me which path to take, right? Then I make my decision. Should I take this path or that path? It's saying take this path, but I'm going to take this path because my experience tells me this is much easier. If I go that way, it might get blocked anytime, right? So you make those decisions based on the data. That's called data informed decision making. You have the data and you're making a decision based on that data. Why? Because you have experience in that. You know your goal, what you're trying to achieve, you know what you are playing with, and you know what you need to do. That's exactly what analysis and insights is. You work with your business stakeholders, understand their goals. What are they trying to achieve? When people come to me, they always say, hey, I can fill your agency with leads. And I'm like, you don't even understand my objective. I'm not creating $1 billion business here. And my goal is not to have so many leads. My goal is to have 1 or 2 qualified leads that can keep people busy. Everybody has a different stage in their life, right? When you're young, you want to work 16 hours. That's what people say. And I used to work a lot of hours. As you grow old, you get family. When my son was born, my outlook towards life changed. I wanted to spend more time with him. Now he's a teenager. He has his own life. And now I'm like, okay, I can spend some little bit more time here. So everybody goes through those phases, but then you get older and you don't need as much money as you thought you needed when you were young, right? So everybody changes. And that's why you have to understand the objective. Same goes with organizations. Not everybody is looking to make sales and higher profit. They're not. They want something else. Maybe it's awareness. I want to drive awareness. I don't care. I'll give my thing for free. I want to drive awareness. Amazon did that for a while. 10 years, they didn't make any profit, and profit wasn't the thing they were after. They wanted to promote their platform in a way so people trust the platform, that they can find good prices. They also wanted to build trust with their vendors, that they can sell products on Amazon without competing with Amazon. Amazon is not going to undercut them. So Amazon would not promote their own product, but they'll just promote third-party vendor products. So you have to understand the business objective and then analyze the data. So that's where you define the key performance indicators. So that's your job as an analyst. This is more a business strategy side of job. So if you're not technical, this is the place you want to go. You work with those technical folks to implement the right solution, and then you extract the meaning from the data and connect it back to business. This is storytelling. Storytelling is a critical part here. So if you're a great storyteller, this might be the direction for you. But you have to look at the data, use that data, then tell that story, and then tell them what to do, right? And what to do is optimization. Remember that definition I talked about? For the purpose of optimizing the web experience, right? For optimization, you can experiment. We experiment all our life. When you're a kid, you take one step and you fall down, then you know, hey, I cannot take the step this way, right? Also, I was telling about my driving experience. I go from my home, my navigation tells me take this path. I know that path will get blocked. So I take another path, even though it might seem longer. That's my experience telling me. But then sometimes I do experiment with that path and I figure out what's the right way to do it. You always do that. Experimentation is part of your life. And that's what you're doing on the website. Should we put an image here? What should this image look like? Should this be a male or a female or a family? Should it be something else? Should it be an object? When I'm selling a product, let's say a shirt, should the shirt be just the shirt? What color the shirt should be the first image? Should there be a person wearing that shirt? Should it be hanging in a closet? What do I want people to experience? You experiment with that and then see which drives the outcome that you want. And personalization is a way also to use that data to personalize customers' experience. So that's what optimization does. That's the role you will be working in if you choose this path. Career progression, you start from analyst, reporting analyst, or technical analyst, one of those technical side reporting or analyst. Then you become a senior analyst, analytics manager, director, vice president, and SVP, chief marketing officer. At director level, you'll have to decide which path you want to go. If you're technical, I don't think there will be a growth path for you in just analytics. You might have to go more technical side of things. If you are on the strategy side of things, then you'll have to expand your horizon to get more marketing experience, and then you can become chief marketing officer. Many organizations are using chief analytics officer, but when they do that, it's not just web shopper data, it's all the data that's there. Maybe there is a sales data sitting somewhere, maybe there's HR data sitting there, etc. So those are the career progressions that you will have here. Education and skills. I've seen all sorts of majors. So education is not that key, but I know in some countries, particularly in India, a lot of students come to me and say they require MBA in their job descriptions for this kind of role. And maybe that's a country specific thing. In US, it doesn't matter which field you are in. Fields only matter in the initial stages. And then after that, it doesn't matter. Skills that are required for reporting are Excel, PowerPoint. I've already talked about this, data visualization. For analyst optimization, you have to be analytical thinker. You have to be a great storyteller. Rest of the stuff can be learned. These are the ones you have to work yourself. Are you that person? Can you break a problem apart into pieces, solve it, and then put it together? Can you do that? Can you ask questions, the right questions? Do you feel comfortable doing that? Analysts always ask why. Our conversions are high. Why? Well, we got a lower cost per click, so we could get more clicks on Google, but why? Those are the type of things that will lead you to the right answer. Ask multiple whys till whys are exhausted. Then you'll know your answer. Look at the bigger problem, put it in pieces, solve those pieces, put them together to get your answer. And then you have to be able to convey that story to your stakeholders. People come and tell me, hey, we got 90% bounce rate. Okay, so what do I do? What does that even mean? We have 10 million visitors on our site. What do I do with that information? You have to tell me a story that aligns with what I'm looking for. And that goes to my business objective, etc. If you are a great storyteller and you are analytical, you can be very, very successful in this role. You don't have to be very technical. You can learn the technical skills. Technical role, you definitely need to go with JavaScript, HTML, SQL, etc. And if you want to be a data analyst, data scientist, SQL or Python, I think Python and SQL will do that trick for you. Okay, so here's a process that you guys can use immediately. Analytics strategy, thinking about business. What does business want? Who are the customers, etc. We spend a lot of time in analytics strategy before we go and implement any solution. Then you configure the tool, that's your technical part, followed by reporting and insights, and then finally optimize based on your learnings. This is the process you should be using in any of your digital analytics projects. In other words, you should be asking, what is the objective? What is the goal? What tools do I need? How do I need to implement that? What insights am I driving? And how do I make it better? That's the whole circle. If you are already in analytics, that's what you should be using. People just directly jump here and that's it. They spend a lot of time in this one and then they go to reporting, like partially on this one side. So you've learned a lot about this career path today. You can't imagine success. You can't say one day I'm going to be this. You cannot sit there wishing. You have to take action. I have hired people with no analytics background. I was talking about this person. He was my first hire with no analytics background. He did not even know what cookies were. He did not have any idea about web. Why did I hire him? He came across as somebody who was ready to take action, somebody who was analytical, and somebody who was willing to put his effort. When he came to me, he said, Anil, when you hire me, you won't have to worry about things. I'll take care of stuff. You tell me what to read, I'll read before I come on board. I said, all right, that's fine. And this person actually was true to that. He came, he did all the work, he made my work easier. And similarly, I just recently hired people, and they were the same way. They took over the work, they were interning with me, and they took on the work that I was supposed to do, and they made my life much easier so I can relax. And then I said, okay, now you're ready, I'll hire you. And that's what people look at. You need to take action. You can't just sit and wait. So you have to take action. Now, there are several ways to get into the field. One of the easiest way is you join the program, which I have, and I have tons of courses that'll make you an expert. Even people who are in the field for years, they are part of my academy. Not for this course, but we do bi-monthly meetings where they come in and we discuss stuff. So you're facing an issue, we discuss that. Career, technical, whatever, you just name it, because there are different people who come with different experiences. The other option is to follow experts in the field and try to learn, but you'll have to piece everything together. There is also a lot of misinformation, but somebody who's motivated can learn. I learned programming on my own. I was an electronics engineer, not a software engineer. And I picked up the books and learned on my own. And back then we didn't have Google or anything. We just had books. I went to Barnes and Nobles, picked up a book for $25 and learned programming. But I spent a lot of time. I used to work overnight to just learn it, figure it out, everything. So you'll have to do a lot of heavy lifting on your own, but you can do it. How do you go from being a dreamer, somebody who's like, I want to be this, one day I'm going to be this, I want a job, to all the way to becoming a leader? And this is not a multi-year plan. I mean, like, it'll take you 20 years to get there. You can get there faster, very fast. Depends on how much effort you want to put. So dreamer has basic understanding of digital analytics, no experience, might have experience in other marketing, at level 0. Dabbler is somebody who understands the role, like you've gone through, you're now dabbled more than a dreamer. You understand what various tools provide, is getting started with using tools, uses some aspect of digital data. Title is analyst, junior analyst, etc. Then you have a hustler, somebody who's acquiring deeper technical reporting analysis skill, somebody who's already in the job. They might be senior analyst and manager. They're finding a way to push technical limits, finding insights, connecting insights to business. Then you have the performer. Their title generally is senior manager and director. On the technical side, they are doing advanced level tracking. And on the business side, they're generating deeper insights, proactive analysis, quantitative, qualitative analysis, SQL. Then you've got expert, generally title is director or so, and they're using not just one data source, but multiple data sources. So this is business and this is technical, where you work with APIs, you're pushing the limits, you're integrating the data, etc. And then you have master, who's a storyteller, great storyteller, influences executives with data, drives the development of machine learning models, AI, ML, etc. Here, your title is going to be director or VP. And then finally, leader is somebody who develops and executes the vision for the whole organization. They work closely with executives, get the required funding for the teams, and their title is VP, SVP, Chief Analytics Officer, etc. All right, so that's your path. Now I'm open for questions. I'm going to go read your questions. How is career growth for an implementation architect specialized in Adobe Analytics? Great question. Adobe tools, whichever tool you pick, if you become an Adobe expert, as long as Adobe is selling the product, you'll have a job. If not, you'll have to branch out into other tools. Even though Adobe analyst can command higher salary or better rates, I always recommend acquire other tool knowledge as well. Expand your knowledge. Adobe is an expensive tool. Many organizations are rethinking as the economy goes down. They're like, should I spend money on Adobe, or should I go free GA for, or should I go Pivot Pro, etc.? There are other solutions that are cheaper, but if you are going to be in an implementation path, this is what you need to focus on. Integration of various tools, developing and using APIs, work on large system integrations and get into other areas of business. You may continue to the implementation path and maybe carve out your freelancing or whatever you want to do. But if you're going to remain in an organization as an employee, then you have to get into integration parts. You can't just do Adobe implementation all the time. So that's what your career path should be. Focus on the other technical aspects to bring all the data together. I know people who have switched from technical implementation to product management as well. How much coding skill is required in the technical analytics role? Great question. Not a lot of coding, but you need to understand the fundamentals of coding. Like for technical implementation, you need JavaScript knowledge. And I have a course in JavaScript as well. For analytics role, like the analysis side of things, learn SQL. Again, I have a course on that as well. Planning to start my own consulting business, have 8 years of experience in digital analytics field. What things need to be considered before starting? Great question. When I started my career in this field, I was unknown. I started writing my experience, and this is what I'm encouraging you. Those who participate, start writing your experience. When you talk about your experience, one, it gives you the clarity in your mind. Are you really learning? Have you really learned the stuff? Also, when you look for jobs, you can refer back to that as your notes. And then also, as your writing develops, as your skill develop, you can be known in the field. So that's how I got my first speaking gig. That's how I built my business. All that work that's driven there is through word of mouth. People who have worked with me in past, my past clients reference from them, or people who have watched my videos or have looked at my content. That's how we get the business. I never pick up a phone and call somebody to get business. And if you're starting out on your business, keep in mind, I was listening to a podcast last night where somebody was referring to Coca-Cola, and Coca-Cola CEO said, it takes 8 years to build a brand. They come out with new product, people will know it, but it takes 8 years for them to actually establish that as a brand. That's what you're doing. You're establishing your brand. And the only way you can establish your brand is by actively participating. Not deciding one day I'm going to switch and become a consultant. Sure, you can go on Fiverr and here and there, maybe you'll get some work, but a lot of freelancers struggle. There was a lot of work that came for freelancers recently, but now they're struggling because what they haven't done is they haven't built their brand. And it's hard nowadays because there's too much noise to build a brand. But we can talk about that as well. I can give you a platform on Optizent to build your brand, which helps me, which helps you. If you are considering starting your own business, start participating in conversations on LinkedIn. That's step one. Go do it. Every day, make it a habit to participate. Comment on something, like something, share your point of view. So that's what you have to think. So if you are planning on your consulting business, think about how you can build your brand, how can build your skills. And technically, you come and become part of Optizent membership, you'll never be alone. Hopefully that answers your question. Hi, Anil. I'm a digital analyst, specialized in GA4, GTM, Looker Studio, and Amplitude. And as communication skills, I'm B2 German speaker. Okay. I'm also intermediate front-end developer, but as a freelancer. Okay. I was trying my best to get a job in Europe and be able to relocate there. That is my goal. I'm not able to get any interviews. Okay. I'm not sure what the skill should I learn. If you are going to be in Europe, you want to relocate there, learn Pivik Pro. That's it. Pivik Pro is a European company, GDPR compliant, and I have free courses as well. So I run their academy. Okay, there is another question here. I have worked in parts in digital analytics, mostly in tagging, supporting migration, yeah, but implementation is what excited me most. So I decided to learn GA4 by myself. I've acquired the GA4 certification, built a static website, and implemented it as an elementary project. Could you please suggest more ways that would strengthen? Get some practical experience. You've done on your site, go find a friend, go find a friend's friend or somebody and do some free work. If you're part of my academy, then I give you a site to work on, but you have to be part of the academy and you can write that on your resume. You work with me as an intern, you can put that on your resume to strengthen your resume. But if not, you can find a friend or friend's friend or somebody and work on their site. So all I would say is a parting thing is make learning engaging a part of your daily habit. It's hard, but you have to do it. Be known for something rather than trying to do all these different things. If you are known for one thing, people will gravitate towards you. And be honest in your dealing with people. If you get one client, just put your full heart and soul on that to make it a success. Whether you get full money or not, I won't worry about that initially. It'll just come. The universe has a great way of paying you back some way or the other. All right. So if you guys are interested, then there are two options for you. One, if you are a beginner, then you should enroll in Digital Web and Marketing Analytics Essentials. It'll give you all the content and a learning path that you need to be successful in this career. However, if you are a seasoned professional, then Optizent Inner Circle membership is for you. And believe me, if you are going to be a freelancer, if you want to do a freelancing stuff, this is must. If you are alone in your organization, this is a must. The value you get is way more than what you pay in a month. And no matter which country you are in, I can guarantee you, you can make way more money than what you pay here. And that's why I kept increasing the price. When I initially launched, it was way less, but I know the value people get, and it's amazing value. But if you are going to be a freelancer, if you are going to be alone in your organization, or even if you are stuck in your career and you want transition, this will be great. It gives you access to all the courses. Twice a month we meet, not only me, but you meet with other people as well, and they can all help you. The whole idea is we lift each other. This is our community. When you are in trouble in work, where do you turn? You come here.